Very call tonight. The board meeting of November 27th.
Order, and our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Don't spend too much. Sir,
Do you know why the flags are at?
I still lose them.
Yeah, but that's long.
Oh, for the pattern. What?
Oh, she got
Yeah. That's fine. We can talk about it.
pretty much. I was
All right, we're gonna salute. No, we're gonna salute to the outside flag. It's fine. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for improvising. Hi, Kate. Next order of business is the AP warrant number 13, the amount of $328,461.23.
I move that we pay AP warrant number 13 in the amount of $328,461.23.
A second.
Been moved and seconded to pay AP warrant number 328,461. I'm sorry, AP warrant number 13, the amount of $328,461.23. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item of the business is the payroll journal number 203 in the amount of $8,637.69.
I will move that we pay payroll journal number 203 in the amount of $8,637.69.
I second.
Been moved and seconded to pay payroll journal number 203 with the amount of $8,637.69. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Next item of business is minutes of the previous meeting. These are minutes of the November 13th meeting, regular meeting, expertly taken by Mrs. Hope.
I would move that we approve the minutes of November 13th, 2023 as printed.
I second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the November 13th meeting as printed. Is there any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item of the business is public comment on non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for any resident from the town of Powell to step forward and be heard by the select board. Miss Chief Peters.
Well,
No, I think we're pretty well know who we are here.
all right, Chief Peters, I live on Nail Road. I just wanted to let the board know that, Robin, Holden, whose parents live on the Hodgson Road, works for DeWalt, tool company. We were entered by him into a raffle, and we won $2,300 worth of DeWalt tools.
Wow.
So those should start arriving here pretty soon, and, we're pretty grateful for that.
That's great.
Nice.
Can we,
2,300.
can we send Robin Holden a thank you card?
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Yeah.
How much you doing as well? Chief Peters had a question. Do you know why, you must know why this flag is passed down?
I would have to look. Dwayne takes care of that. I know there was a half-staff alert last week that was supposed to run through the end of the month. I think that's for Rosalind Carter's passing.
So Ryan was right. Are there any other panel residents like to step forward and be heard? That's great news about the tools. Next item, department reports. Department head reports can be found on the website. You click on the department and their report is right there. Select board, have any questions to the department heads who are currently present?
None.
Thank you. Nice job with those reports. Next item, select board, or anything to report out at this time? Mr. O'Brien?
Have nothing.
Nothing.
Neither do I. Next item on the agenda is new business. The federal ARPA grant. Where are we at that?
We still have a little under 100,000 to designate. I also wanted to take a moment to update on the generator project. So I have Irving coming on December 4th to do a site walk to look at putting the tanks in and get that estimate. I have reached out to the facilitator and said, really doesn't make sense for us to bring in other fueling companies because we have a contract with Irving. So I'm trying to see if she'll accept what we've got so we can get this project moving forward. So I'm waiting to hear back on that.
Any questions to Becky about the ARPA grant? Nope. All right, next item is the draft special town meeting warrant. Becky.
Okay, so I have the draft in front. The top is basically the normal greeting that we have to do set for Monday, January 22nd, 7 PM for here. Did we want to read the whole?
I'll read it.
You wanna- okay, go ahead.
To add before we go through.
Nope.
Great. Article 1, choose a moderator. Article 2, shall ordinance entitled 2023 amendments to the Pownell zoning ordinance be enacted. Copy of the amendment shall be available at special town meeting. Exhibit A.
So the exhibits are up under the public hearing notices on the town calendar right now from North Star. Sam got those to me last week, so I get to get them posted.
Great. Any questions about Article 2? All right. Article 3, to see if the town will transfer and appropriate $16,000 from the unassigned fund balance to the brown tail moth mitigation program grant. The money is refunded from the state program will return to the unassigned fund balance. Does everybody know what that is?
Yes, we do.
So we're just trying to put that money in play. Fifth grade has gone on board. Hopefully we can coordinate the fifth grade and the Conservation Commission in January to start public education hearing at the school gym and buy some pruning poles and I'm tentatively reaching out to a guy with a lift truck to spray, water spray, no chemicals.
Right.
Just water and a little bit of Clorox to take the moths off, and landowner will be responsible for being there at the time. And if there's anything to collect and closing out. So the state really actually likes that mitigation method. I never thought about it.
The coordinator I've been working on reached out and said now is a good time to be coordinating a person that we might need to have come in and do the treatments in April and May. Is that something that the office should do, or is Conservation Commission helping with that piece?
Is the Conservation Commission meeting this month?
We are meeting tomorrow and we've been working on that. We're trying to brainstorm the best way to do that.
I have a list of approved people that I can get to you.
Will you be in?
Great.
All right.
Question?
Yeah, sure.
Is there a timeline for when the money will be refunded?
Yeah, when we spend it, then we have to give it our purchase order or receipt to the state, and then the state will return that money. The money has been approved by the state, but it's as needed. So we may not spend all this money. It'll just go back to unassigned.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Article 4, to see if the town will appropriate $15,626 from the coronavirus local Fiscal Recovery Fund, AKA American Rescue Plan of ARPA funds received by the town from the federal government for the following projects: replacement of the town office, CEO, Public Works, and Fire Chief's computers.
My only question with that is the estimates came in September, so I have reached out to the person to ask if they're still valid, but I'm wondering if we want to add a 2% or 3%, just in case the costs do rise by the end of January, because he can give me an estimate today and it could change in January, so,
Why don't we say up to 17,000?
okay.
Jesse?
I would like that changed from the fire chief's computer to the fire department. The computer at the station.
Thank you for that comment. Okay. Good. Article 5, see if the town will transfer $4,491 from unassigned fund balance to the fire truck fund balance account. Andy?
Should we put that as retransfer? Because it was transferred in error.
Would it be better to say, see if the town will return?
Yeah.
And then if anyone asks a question, we can. Good point, Andy. Article 6, shall the town designate the Pownell Route 9 Omnibus TIF district consisting of parcels identifying a town tax maps as 008-02402, 008-02403, 008-023, 008-02301, and 008-02401, and encompassing approximately 3 acres, and adopt the Pownell Route 9 Omnibus TIF District Development Plan, all in accordance with MRS Title 30A, Chapter 206. Good. Any questions about that?
The exhibits are coming from Isabel on IOV. She hasn't quite got them done, but they will be uploaded by the end of this week, most likely, and that will be a map with a quick explanation for people for reference.
Excited to get that underway. Seems like it's been a process. All right. What do we think? Looks good to me. Article 2 is going to be fine. We've got those all written up.
Yes.
Good. Right.
So I have a couple questions. So Sam from North Star was asking if she needs to be at both December 11th and December 18th. She was planning on coming to the 18th. You think that's fine? Okay. The planning board would like to do a presentation. It makes sense since Article 2 is their part of the public hearing to do the presentation there. So I will let Marcia know that would be the time. Conservation Commission would like to do a small presentation. So where in the public hearing do we want to put them?
Let's do the Conservation Commission first.
Before we start with that. Perfect.
So,
6 o'clock. Yep. Correct.
and let's put that on the website that's happening.
Yes.
And that's about land.
Yeah, the easement proposal, we'll have that edited, fine outline of the terms, and I can make a bunch of copies. And we can present that.
Think I've even put it up on December 11th's calendar event, but if I haven't, I will do that tomorrow. Yeah.
Will you need, or we'll have audio visual?
Correct. Yeah.
Who knows? First attempt.
It is going to be our first attempt.
That
I think that was it. There were 2 presentations and Sam. Yep.
is Exhibit A up yet on the website?
Yes. Yes. I put those up last week.
Okay, so maybe in your banner, you could Well, is it up on the banner? Can they click directly from the banner on the right?
If they go right on the December 11th town calendar, the links are right there. Yep.
Any other questions from the board?
I have none.
All right, I think we're ready to go on that.
Great. I'll make the edits and I'll get it uploaded tomorrow on the website.
Right. You don't need us obviously to sign this.
Not yet.
Goodness. Next item. Mallet Hall Buildings and Grounds Committee charge. Now, you had homework,
Mhm.
that you were assigned. Would you like to report out, Mr. O'Brien?
I reviewed their charge and just had a few make recommendations and serve as an advisory group to the select board. The committee will have input to changes made in the interior, exterior, and grounds of Mallet Hall. Historical section only. The committee shall assist in scheduling maintenance projects. We don't have a town carpenter, so. And the committee will also research a list of contractors to be used for major maintenance projects.
So those are some more practical directions. Because we can edit this charge on a
Right.
yearly basis, right? Does not have to be a constitutional document.
Right.
Because I think, so Kate, I think the use of Mallet Hall as evidenced by the changing use of this room is gonna be changing quicker than the language in the charge will change. So we'll need to look at it every year to update. Did you have any practical additions to the Mallet Hall Committee charge?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so my only thought, and it came from a conversation with Ms. Kathy Hoag, is that to give the committee more of a planning role in terms of future route use. Now, every comprehensive plan has mentioned the need for a community center. And, you know, right now, this is what we have and severely underutilized. And in part because the town has been particularly financially, fiscally conservative. But there have been, you know, a lot of overtures from, and Becky could probably speak to this more than I, but, you know, we've tried to get Efficiency Maine to give us quotes on helping with lighting and maybe heating the older part of the building with heat pumps. And just some way to make it more practical to have people spend time there, meet there, and maybe move the rental aspect from this room, the most beautiful room in the world, the stage room, or, you know, pretty utilitarian room, the downstairs room. I also wonder if the committee would like to tackle renovating the old selectman's office and to make that into perhaps the town planner's office. That's another room that, for financial reasons, we've never tackled. It's a beautiful room, and I have a feeling government is gonna outgrow its little space in the new wing here. So I would like to suggest that that really is the Mallet Hall. I mean, I'm not sure they, you know, I'm not sure the practicality of having them do that planning work. But at least that would be a group that met on a constant basis and developed some institutional knowledge of the needs of the building and how to proceed. We talk about it on an ad hoc basis, but we really don't keep up with it.
Right.
I also would like the committee to somehow, before June, come up with a budget item where we do get a handyman, you know, it's gotta be someone who's willing to work 16 hours a week to keep this place up. So those are my suggestions, just to look more into the future. And it's building and grounds too, so the committee is also in charge of the outside. And they've done a great job. As the Pumpkin Fest hopefully prospers, the grounds become more in play because they utilize a lot of the back and side areas. Is that something that we should develop more for the public? Should we, have sitting area or picnic table or something like that? I'm not sure, but that committee certainly could have some perspective.
Right.
If we are going to venture into a village district, then this building takes a pretty important spot in that whole plan,
Pretty much a center role.
I would say. So, so anyway, that would be my thought, and I don't know how to put that together in a charge, but just to have it so that there's some more future vision. Not, and, you have to be the watchdog to the building, but perhaps continue to think about what it could be. And Peter, you had your hand. You can say Steve. Just because you're on the mic, just tell them where your address.
About a year ago, we looked at Grafton. We actually rewrote, for the church, we rewrote the church actually in a meeting of May 22, I think. And we presented it here and it was okay. And I do agree with all the points that you're bringing up. Because I think the committee can have some more involvement in quite a few decisions that are being made about the use of the building. But the hard part for a committee like this is also communications with the hall, and Becky and I have good communications. But overall, over the years, we've had, Becky has replaced 2 or 3 people over the last 3 years. And so it becomes difficult, and she is basically in charge of the building and the ongoing stuff, the little stuff that goes on. A light has to be replaced with this and that, and we wouldn't be able to, it's not practical for me to get involved in stuff like that. But there are other stuff, other things that are probably good for the committee to be involved and more involved in. And sometimes there are things going on and things being planned for the building. For example, the paving of the yard. It was being paved and we only discovered, the committee only discovered it when actually they were doing it, or they were going to do it. And that's nobody's fault, because here you have different town administrators and a revolving bunch of people that are involved. So if we can find a way to communicate better and maybe get more involved in some of the small stuff. What we also did 2 years ago was appoint a so-called town carpenter. Been a very frustrating experience actually, because the town carpenter hasn't been able to find the time to do any of the work, and monies that we have set aside have not been used or only been partially used. And then I talked to the town carpenter, and there was some disgruntlement there, and so I went back. Actually, I had a project that really has done. That's the dorm at this hall, because I believe it is leaking and it needs work. And he was going to do that, and it was being delayed. So he said, "Well, why don't you go back to Greg Foster's?" Which was painful, because we asked Greg Foster's was like not to use them anymore and use the town apartment. So then I had to go back and ask him anyway. And he was good enough to say, okay, I can take on that project. And he would have done that, but that doesn't make him carpenter. As such, and Greg has his own schedule. And we were talking, well, before the front of the hall was painted this October, I believe. And we had a lift. So Greg says, well, I'm gonna have to rent a lift anyway, because I'm gonna do some work in the church. And at the same time, we can save some money and do it at the same time. Well, lo and behold, the weather hasn't been working right and he hasn't had time, so I called him. I talked to him this morning, actually. He says, well, I'm gonna delay it till next spring. So I get into stuff like that, and the town carpenter also wasn't really designed to do small stuff. And so we were talking, I think at the meeting, or maybe Andy and I had been talking about the possibility of actually having somebody from the crew do it. And then they said, well, it's not in the job description, et cetera, and we don't know. Of course, you can always hire somebody and create a job description for a limited amount of hours, but getting somebody to do work like that for a limited amount of hours is probably sort of troublesome, different kinds of work, but I think it would be a good thing to do if we can finally do it. So those are some of the difficulties that we get in, and I don't want to make this any longer, but I would propose. You brought up a bunch of stuff that we could and probably should be involved in, like the use of the room, etc. I would love to, I propose that I can say work with Kathy, for example, if she is willing to, because she's the head or the chairman of whatever the fund committee, and so I can have another committee member helping 2 or 3 people. We can write up a draft, incorporate the suggestions that you guys brought up, and present it maybe
Perfect.
in 2 weeks.
Perfect, that'd be great. So Kathy has the notes of what. Excellent note taker. And see how we can collaborate together. Just so that we can empower the Ballot Hall Building and Grounds Committee to look more forward, more into the future. Knowing that things like a village district coming down the pike, knowing that this building is gonna needs more office space, knowing that with limitations this room now, that we really need to look at the stage room and the voting room. What can we do to make those more user friendly?
We would have been open to suggestions like that, though I didn't know that you guys needed more office space. Because it's easy, we have 2 rooms and then we have the room downstairs, and we can utilize that and we can fix them up and get some money for it. And that is easy stuff, but you have to, here again, you need that communication. Right. I have been concentrating mostly on bigger projects like the roof, so we even go the painting of the building.
Well needed, and thank you for doing that, because I mean, you know, we need a hat and we need to have clothes on, right? Keep this building, but
So
it's also time to make use of the inside. Okay?
I'll get it together with Kathy and
Perfect.
We'll write something up, and in 2 weeks we'll be back and then
All right, that'd be great.
okay,
Thank you, John Peter.
thank you.
Any other thoughts about that?
Nope.
Okay, next one, town funds investment policy. Andy,
At our next meeting, Bo Chesney's gonna be here to talk about, he's been investigating with the budget committee ways to invest some town funds, and we're currently earning 3.2%. It's possible if we did a CD ladder for like the capital projects, we could be earning 5.3%. He knows more about it than I do, obviously, but
so this.
we're gonna have to probably come up with a policy based on his
Yeah.
recommendations. As
Great,
far
so
as,
this is our homework then.
yeah,
Or it's- Perfect. Thank you very much. And Bo, wherever you are. thank you.
Bo had to be at a Freeport Community Services meeting tonight, so he couldn't be here.
All right, so we'll look at this, so we'll be prepared to ask him questions. Great. Becky, the BEAD grant, broadband equity access and deployment.
Yes, so in response to Mr. Schmidt's public comments at the last meeting, I actually talked with a rep from Fidium Fiber to ask how they get into towns. And so the very basic is the town has to apply for this BEAD grant, the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment. Once the town gets approved, then they run the fiber optic lines in and then people can pre-sign up. And then they run the lines to the home. So that's the simple part of this. So my question is, to the board is if you want us to look more into this process. I did ask the town planner if he could come up with a couple of quick more points. He sent me some links and it was 40 pages of stuff I didn't have time to really dive into to give you more information tonight, but
Kate, what's your disposition about applying for a BEAD grant?
So my question is, does the work of doing this investigation, looking into it, is that added to, is that your job and added to your plate, so to speak? Or is it something that?
Will not be added to Becky's plate. We've hired a pretty capable grant writer.
The town plan.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Becky, but this Fidium Fiber is owned by Consolidated.
they are actually owned by Verizon and Fairpoint. They're the old Ma Bell, if anybody remembers Ma Bell Company.
Sure do. Dad worked for him for a lot of years.
But we have to get past this BEAD grant.
Right.
So, Kate, in honesty, I think Becky will probably access the grant paperwork. Put that on her plate. And from there, if it's not too hard, Becky and I can do it. We become expert grant. But if it becomes complicated, yeah, we're 2 for 2.
We are.
Baseball, we'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Pretty close.
Okay, so is the board in agreement that we should pursue this?
I think so.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Great.
And alert Tom that
He's in tomorrow. I plan to try to designate some time, although we have a full office house tomorrow with our assessor in too. So I'm not sure how hectic it's going to be, but I want to sit and talk a little bit about what he saw in his quick little bit of research to just come up with some key points, the good, the bad, what does this look like, and go from there.
you would, Holly, is he?
He stays sometime till 6:30. I don't know if, no, there's no meeting. I think that he's attending tomorrow night. So he's probably going to be in the office at least until 5:30.
Or if you haven't had a meeting, the auditor is out and talk together. Okay, is there any other new business? Is there any old business we need to talk about? There's a nice little spot for the town Christmas tree.
Ah, well, it's a new year, so it's new business.
We have to look to the Conservation Commission, who happens to be here. Perhaps find a suitable fir tree for. Okay, then the elves will decorate it.
That goes out in that PVC pipe, right?
Yep,
Mr. Hoag has quite a bit of experience, as well as his wife, in placement selection. spot.
Was a bit crooked last year.
John Peter, if you looked at the mirror, you'd find that you're a little crooked too. Comes with age. But it was pretty good. We agree it was the right height. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Anyway,
To commend the office staff and their lobbying. Christmas tree, I guess we can call it that if we want to.
Wednesday afternoon, our new deputy clerk Pascal brought in a speaker and we played some holiday music and decorated the lobby and we had a nice little afternoons.
Great.
That was part of her training.
And I came in and said, we haven't eaten the turkey yet.
So that's it. So we have- thank you so much. Great. Yeah, the road crew, I'm sure would help if we need any kind of. Training.
Backhoe bucket.
There was a past road commissioner who will remain nameless who, boy, that Keystone Cops car pulled up. Putting up that tree was something else. Is there any correspondence?
None.
Becky? Fan mail?
I just, Florence came in last Monday to just again thank us all for making use of this room and for working with her over the couple of years on BMA. She's not going to be the coordinator next year, so, but she did pop by to just once again say thanks in person. So
Okay, so I spent some time in Augusta. I am talking with the Department of Parks and Recreation about a possible land swap. So I have to put this in the minutes because it was town business. So if the town were to build a facility on the Robert McMahon land on Route 9, we'd have to somehow find where it is because there's no survey done. I had to go to the Bureau of Parks and Recreation because that land was swapped with another plot of land that Bob owned. So I have gone back to see if for some other kind of compensation, would the park, since they haven't used that swap land, be willing to give that back to us for a small concession in terms of town land on the other side of the park. And, I was talking to the town planner about this. We're just trying to figure out, so there are so many things about a facility that one of them is having enough room to have a footprint and water and blah, 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 blah. So it was just through a casual meeting with the town planner every week, just trying to figure out if we could annex some land. Wouldn't that be a good deal? If the issue were to put both facilities together, then we need more than we have there. So I was up there kicking tires and taking abuse. Tried to work with our state senator, but not available. Okay, so that's my correspondence. Is there any other business come before the board? Night, Pascal. Thank you. Any other business before the board?
I have none.
Then I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second,
A second.
all in favor? Thank you for attending. Thank you.